Right now on Sports Extra, it is time to dance. For the first time in more than a decade, the state of Georgia has two teams competing in the men's basketball tournament, and we're breaking down the bracket. And the Falcons, they have been very busy during the first week of free agency. What moves do we like and which ones are we not really sure about? Plus, the question is, can anybody stop the Hawks?
These guys fought hard to be in this position. 3 tough games in Conference USA allowed us to have the opportunity to go put on display and show the world, show the country what Kennesaw State basketball is all about.
Oh boy, it's time to break out those brackets. Happy Selection Sunday. Happy March Madness. Sports Extra starts right now. Yes, sir. Welcome on into Sports Extra, everybody. I'm Reggie Chapman as we are having a radio row here on our set. Just so it's clear, I'm Reggie Chapman. This is Garrett Chapman. Mine's with a T, his with a P. I know we look like brothers, but we're different guys, as well as home team Brandon Leak on the other side of the desk right there. Here to break down everything on what's been a crazy week here in the city of Atlanta, but we have to start with March Madness. 2 teams from the state of Georgia in the tournament. Home team, how exciting is it to be able to have 2 teams in it? A couple of different teams that we'd love to watch see do well.
It's fantastic. You dare to dream one day we'll have everybody in Georgia Tech and Georgia State, but you have to give Mike White, you have to give Coach Antoine Petway great kudos for what he did at Kennesaw State today, getting himself into the NCAA tournament with a win. And so all of the talent, this is a target-rich environment for basketball talent here in the city. So hopefully this will help all of these programs continue what they're doing, and hopefully we'll get a chance to see both programs get a win in advance and not just get there for the one game.
Garrett, I know that March Madness is fun because we get to fill out the brackets. I know you got yours right here ready to go. But it's even better when you've got teams that you actually have seen play over the course of the season. It feels like we've got a little bit of an advantage. How cool is it to be able to have both these teams?
I think it's great. It's good for the state. It's good for the people who they grew up cheering for these teams, and it's not very often that you get these teams from Georgia that are going to get in here. Like you said, it was first time since 2015. Yeah. It's been a very long time. And shout out to Kennesaw State. I mean, this is a team, them and Duke. They're the only team who did it in football and in basketball. How about that?
Big stat guy right
That's
here.
It,
That's why we bring you on the show. By the way, your Sports Extra debut, so welcome
First time
to the set. All right, we got to talk about Kennesaw State first because their journey has been absolutely incredible. They will be headed to the tournament to face off against number 3 seed Gonzaga out in Portland. Here's head coach Antoine Petway after the team was announced that they were in the tournament, just saying how big this moment is for his program.
So we got a big test ahead of us, but it also is a big opportunity. I think our guys going to do like we always do, come out and fight and compete. And that's what I expect. That's the standard we created, and that's what we're going to do.
What can you say about the job that Antoine Petway has done this season, right? In the middle of the year, his leading scorer, Simeon Cotto, was indicted on a federal point-shaving investigation. He's been suspended, so they had to change up everything, had to go back to the drawing board, coach in a different way. Garrett, the job that he's done to be able to bring this team to the tournament and go through Conference USA for the very first time, what can you say about the job he's done?
I mean, it's the first time he's made the tournament as the head coach of Kennesaw State. It's a great accomplishment for him. It's a great accomplishment for anybody. But to go in and to win this tournament just says everything about him.
He has been incredible. The question is, though, you always look at a situation like this where you succeed so early in your time at a mid-major school, you think he might be a guy that somebody might come and pick up.
Yeah, sometimes that's the lot of the draw when you are in a smaller conference, have a smaller school, but you have big results. People come knocking on the door for your coach. And so that's something that, for him, when you invested a lot of your life into being a basketball coach, helping to enrich the lives of young men, and you finally get somebody calling where you can pick and choose and probably get a chance to get a bigger paycheck so that you and your family can get the things that you want. They become tough decisions. So right now it's about Kennesaw State, and every dribble, every moment that you're on the court with these guys, every meal that you have could be the last one. And so being a part of a Georgia State team in a run where they knocked down Baylor, a game where nobody thought in the world the Georgia State Panthers were going to win that game, you never know, and that's part of the madness and part of the special or more that March Madness brings. So good luck to Coach Petway, and who knows, if they take care of the basketball and they play like they did in the championship game, you never know what's going to be on that final scoreboard.
It's one shining moment. That's all you need.
That's it.
One shining moment.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen a coach from Kennesaw State get picked up before. The late, great Amir Abdur-Rahim ended up getting the job over at USF. Both of his teams are now in the NCAA tournament, so I know he's looking down fondly. Let's take a look at the bracket where Kennesaw State is kind of living here. They've got kind of a murderer's row between Arizona as the 1 seed, Purdue as the 2 seed, the winners of the Big Ten, and Gonzaga, the team that KSU is facing. Do you think that the Owls can, I guess, come up with some sort of way to pull off a major win? You said it would have to take something good, but Garrett, is it actually possible to get a big win like this?
They're both playing the game. I don't see why not.
Okay.
I mean, you just got to hit some big shots. You have to hit your shots. In this kind of
threes and free throws. When the magic happens, a lot of guys get hot. 3-pointers keep raining. Maybe you get some turnovers. You have to make threes. You have to make free throws when you're playing a team like Gonzaga.
They are second in college basketball in free throw attempts, 27 per game.
Whew.
27. So
and you
if they can get to the line,
make them.
You got to make them.
I mean, we saw Bam Adebayo hit a whole bunch of free throws, so we know it works.
Anybody who's getting 43 free throws is going to have a shot. For the love of God.
Oh, my goodness. Well, congratulations to them. It's going to be really exciting to see that run. We also have to talk about the Georgia Bulldogs, another team from our area that has made it to the tournament. Back in it for the second time in 2 years. Back-to-back years for the first time in 25 years. Their last win came in 2002, but technically it got vacated, so it didn't really happen. They're the number 8 seed in the Midwest region. They'll be taking on St. Louis. The Billikens, which I learned today is a mythical creature that they created for good luck. Okay. So there's your fun fact of the day, home team.
Businessman from the Midwest. I don't know. There you go. You've enlightened the city of Atlanta.
The question is, home team, can this group, the highest scoring Georgia team ever, the winningest Georgia team ever, can they snap the streak?
They have the talent. We saw some ups and downs this year. They came down the stretch of the SEC playing really good basketball. Then they get bounced in the opening game they play against Ole Miss. So it was really shocking. And the funny part was they got back into the game after they got down 23. So clearly you cannot be down 23 points to anybody in an NCAA tournament game, but this is a big opportunity. You got there last year. Find a way to advance to the next round, and that shows progress from Mike White and the University of Georgia basketball program.
It's going to be a couple of late tip-offs this week as Kennesaw State will be playing at 10 o'clock, Georgia playing at 9:45, both of those on Thursday. Let's take a look at the bracket here. Georgia, the 7 seed, they'll be playing the winner, Georgia, like I said, the 8 seed in the Midwest region, facing off against St. Louis. In that bracket, you've got Michigan, Iowa State, Virginia. If they win that first game, they'll be facing off against Michigan. Garrett, does this team have the ability to try and make a deep run here?
So when I look at Michigan, I see a team who turns the ball over a lot, and in the tournament, that's an Achilles heel, obviously. You want to keep the ball on your side, right? So if Georgia can get in here, they can get hot. They've got the big man to get it done. What you need is a guy who can either hit a bunch of shots or dominate the boards, and I think Georgia's got both of those guys in Wilkinson and with Cyril. So you have a chance. It wouldn't be the craziest thing, but 8 seeds have beaten a 1 seed before, but you got to get there first. 4
different players on Georgia are averaging double figures, so they've got the talent. We'll see if they can get it done. By the way, the women at Georgia also in the NCAA tournament as well. They go in as a 7 seed. They'll be playing the winner of Virginia and is Arizona State. All right, coming up, the Falcons have been busy to start free agency, to say the least. We're breaking it all down, including the brand new quarterback competition, next after the break. Falcons general manager Ian Cunningham has been busy in free agency, and the big news, Tua Tagovailoa is now a member of the Atlanta Falcons, which means we have a quarterback competition on our hands. Garrett Chapman alongside to my right, home team to my right, as we continue to talk about the Falcons and their offseason and free agency. But like Ian said, the quarterback competition is officially on, and it's been a lot of question marks during this offseason, what they were going to be doing at quarterback. You know you have Tua, you have Michael Penix Jr. potentially coming back for that injury at some point. Who do you want as a starting quarterback in 2026?
For the first time in a while, we all want the same guy. It doesn't matter. Okay. The right answer is whoever wins out the job.
Yep.
That's who you want to be the starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. There's no more picking of favorites, handing out the job to somebody just because you paid them X amount of dollars or you brought them in for X amount of reason. You finally get a quarterback competition, and it is great for the organization, great for Kevin Stefanski and his staff, and also great for the fan base because a guy who wins it will earn it, and that that way you have a clear-cut winner of going into the future. They both could win it. They both could lose it. One guy could get hurt. The other guy could replace him. Both guys could be good. Both guys could be bad. And then you can go into next offseason looking for a quarterback in the draft. So this is a perfect opportunity to win out a job for the organization, for the coaching staff, and for the fan base this year who desperately needs to figure out if we have a franchise quarterback.
At the end of the day, it's a brand new regime, so they don't have any real connection to Michael Penix Jr. because they didn't draft him. So to me, it feels kind of like it's a little bit different, but the Colts situation where they brought in Daniel Jones, he had to face off against Anthony Richardson for the starting job, and they decided to go with Daniel Jones because he was the guy that was playing better.
I hate it for Michael Penix Jr. He has had a unique introduction to the NFL, but he's been injured. And so because he's been injured, he can't be handed the job. So if he can stay healthy, he'll have the same opportunity that Tua does, and hopefully he gets a chance to prove that he can be the starting quarterback, and there'll be no doubt about it.
And he was a cheap signing as well, $1.3 million on the veteran minimum because the Dolphins are going to pay a whole lot more money just to get him off of the books. Garrett, do you think that helps with the decision? Did you like the move, or would you have rather go after somebody like Kyler Murray who would have been the same price but a different type of player?
I think Tua threads this very particular needle where he's a guy who doesn't come in here and expects to be the starter, but he's going to be somebody who could potentially take those reps. I think that's going to be something that's very valuable for the Falcons because it gives them a little bit of flexibility when it comes to making those kinds of decisions. But look, it's the first quarterback battle at Flowery Branch since 2008, since Matt Ryan was drafted. So,
wow.
Which is a crazy thought to have if you think about it that way. But like you said, they've had a different starting quarterback every year since Matt Ryan retired back in 2000, or he didn't retire, but when he was traded and they moved on from him. And I mean, I think it's going to be a good opportunity for Michael Penix. And as far as like the person you want to win this job, I would like it to be Michael Penix.
Yep.
But if it ends up being Tua Tagovailoa, I think it's going to be a pretty good thing for the Falcons too, because when he is healthy, he's a really good player. You know, he just hasn't been healthy since 2023.
Now, we'll see if he can get back to a Pro Bowl level because Tua had done that. He was a guy that was very accurate and threw the ball a lot. But he seemed to really fall off a cliff over the course of the last couple of years. Obviously, it's been busy. He's not the only signing the Falcons have made over the course of this offseason. They signed a whole bunch of guys. Ian Cunningham saying they wanted to raise the floor of this group and this roster. They brought in guys like Olamide Zaccheaus and Austin Hooper, some guys that have been on this roster, and also some former Georgia Bulldogs, Channing Tindall, as well as Azeez Ojulari. Home team, is there anybody that kind of stood out to you signing-wise? And did you wish they maybe had a more splashy pickup, or do you like what they kind of did?
I'll answer the first question first. No, this is not the reset year. Next year will be, you only have 5 draft picks this year and your money left over from the remnants of Kirk Cousins and his contract. Next year, you're going to have more draft picks, you're going to have more money, and then that's the year you'll find out if you have your starting quarterback or not. So, no, I'm not upset they didn't go out and make a big splash in free agency. You had a good defense last year, but with the James Pierce Jr. situation, your defense needs all the tending to that it needs, plus some of the guys you lost on defense. So I like Azeez Ojulari. Jeff Ulbrich has certainly shown that if you give him good players, he can put them in good spaces, and he did that last year. So anybody who's able to fit in, be a head buster, get the defense in a place on third downs where they're winning, I like that. So hopefully Azeez Ojulari, another Bulldog coming home, hopefully will be one of those guys as a big surprise.
And that's a guy who set the Giants franchise record for rookie sacks in 2022.
Sure did.
So how about that?
Yeah, we got a guy who did something somewhere else. He's got a record.
Hoping to have some of that productivity here in Atlanta. By the way, I thought it was cool seeing some of that Hooper video throws from Matt Ryan, right? Now he's this new boss. By the way, we also did lose a couple of guys in free agency. The one I want to talk about first is Tyler Algier, the running back, a guy that we felt like we saw grow up here in Atlanta when they drafted him out of BYU. Garrett, he's a guy that's headed now to the Arizona Cardinals. Was that part of that 1-2 punch of Bijan Robinson? Will they regret letting Tyler walk?
Not for that contract. I mean, he's making a good bit of money, and good for him. I'm thrilled for him. He's earned every penny that he's going to be making from the Arizona Cardinals. But, you know, $7 million for a backup running back, it's just not feasible here in the NFL. That's just the way it works. And unfortunately for the Falcons, they're going to lose out on a great guy and a guy who had a really defined role here on the Falcons. But that's not a role that you're really going to struggle too hard to replace because the guy is still here. Bijan Robinson is still an Atlanta Falcon, and that's the thing that matters.
I think that's perfectly said. If it was, you keep him for $1 million for another 2 years, obviously you would like to have him. I had a chance to speak to Ian Cunningham Friday, and one of the things I asked him is how he valued the running back position, and he said they did have running backs on the roster, but they will be addressing the running back position. So Bijan Robinson and running back quarterback X. Certainly we hope will be another 1-2 punch like it was the first time with those two, with Algier and Robinson.
Keep an eye out. A guy like Damon Claiborne from Wake Forest, fantastic option for the Atlanta Falcons. You can get him potentially on day 3. Lots of value in this draft class.
I like from Ian, he talked a lot about the fact that free agency is not over, between being able to still sign some guys and obviously upcoming with the draft, maybe potentially making some trades. They feel like they can still find some ways to fill some of these positions. Before we go, we have to talk about Caden Ellis. He is gone. He went back to the Saints. From the Saints, he comes here, then back to the Saints he goes. Home team, you're messing with me with Caden a little bit earlier. Caden Ellis headed to the Saints. Do you think the Falcons will regret that, knowing you'll see him 2 times a year?
Yeah, look, you're going to miss him. He's a solid linebacker. He clearly helped the defense multiple times. He doesn't miss games. So he's a veteran linebacker. He's 31, so he still has tread on the tires. And he's one of those guys that you want to have on your team as a captain. But the truth is, you're not expected to go to the Super Bowl. You wish you could keep him. You don't want him going to the enemy. But the bottom line is there's so many unknowns, and you don't have the money just to give guys who you probably wish you could keep for a little bit more. So you have to tend to your dollar. So it's one of those things where you had to let him go. I hate it. He's good for the team, good for the locker room, but it's just one of those business decisions.
And Jeff Ulbrich did say it's going to take 2 guys to replace this guy. They already had 2 guys, Christian Harris and, of course, Channing Tindall. So we'll see.
You like those guys, man.
We'll see.
Guys with some productivity in their past. All right, we got to talk about the Hawks after this break. Coming up, they're the hottest team in the NBA right now. What do they have to do to keep it up, and should we start to believe? We got that question and answers. Much more after the break. All right, welcome back to Sports Extra. Reggie Chapman, Garrett Chapman, as well as home team Brandon Leak, as we have to talk about the Hawks, maybe the hottest team in the entire area. I mean, can you believe it? 9 straight wins for this team. There are 16-10 since trading Trae Young, a move that seems to have worked. Garrett, this is a team that has the longest win streak in the NBA, longest in some years for this team. What is working for this group?
Longest since 2015. It's a long time. That was a team that won, 17 games in a row, had a perfect month of January. This is the longest since then. And really, it's just team basketball. You get this team they're hitting their shots. That's a really big thing for them.
That's like the biggest part of basketball.
You got to make your shots, right? I mean, like, that's what you all got to do, and they're just seemingly doing it. CJ McCollum, he hit 7 threes in this game on Saturday against the Bucks. And look, when you got a Jalen Johnson machine who's just triple-double after triple-double after triple-double, let me tell you what, that helps a lot.
It's crazy because he got that triple-double, and I just had to kind of like half mention it in my show because it feels so regular now, but don't let that, I mean, it is not regular. He has become a superstar in this league. They are 8th in the East, 2.5 games back of Orlando. Home team, I feel like I ask you this every single year.
You do. I think I know what you're going to ask me. Am I going to be the good guy or the bad guy this time?
And that's the question here. Is it finally time we believe in the Atlanta Hawks as a team that can make a run in the postseason?
I've gotten in trouble down there when I show my face. I say yes.
All right.
I think you're coming up on 10 in a row, and watch the Hawks in the final 4 minutes of games now. They are playing team basketball, taking care of the ball, and finishing off foes, whether they are lesser than or equal opponents. And I think tomorrow night against the Magic, playing a team that has had a trip to the playoffs last year, could solidify it. If you win 10 in a row in this streak where you just took care of the basketball and really showed you came together cohesively, we should believe that maybe they can play themselves out of a play-in and into a playoff spot.
You know, the biggest thing that makes me believe that they can do something, since the All-Star game, they have led the NBA in defensive rating. Can you believe that from a Hawks team that historically has not been able to play very good defense? Now, before we end this block, we have to talk about, I mean, they're playing against the Magic on Monday here in the city of Atlanta. Magic City Monday was canceled at the Hawks game. A really disappointing thing for me because I was really excited to go get the wings and buy the sweatshirt. Home team, your initial reaction to the loss of what could have been a very epic night at State Farm Arena?
Look, we're all beholden to people who pay our checks.
Yes.
And so the sponsors and the NBA were not happy with the partnership and the content that was going on. So it's totally understandable. I think what happened was, as a native here, something that was tongue-in-cheek, kind of got down a different road in different conversations. And I think the mystique of the establishment took over the point of the promotion. It was the Magic coming in. It's a Monday night probably not going to be one of your high-selling games. And so you try to do something to create a little bit of buzz. You did that, and so the NBA took a look at it and said, no, no, no. I just think ultimately you can't please everybody. There are nights that are, seemingly harmless, and people have a problem with it. People have problems sometimes with HBCU night.
Yeah.
People have problems sometimes with Latino night. Sometimes people have problems with Pride night. So you can't appease everybody. Totally understand what they did from a business component. And so the people who will be in the building hopefully will be in there to watch the Hawks beat the Magic and just have a little fun, even though it was still tongue-in-cheek.
Really quick, Garrett, did you order your sweatshirt online, or are you not going to be able to get it?
I just know it's going to go down in Atlanta sports history alongside of the 2020 Final Four and the 2021 All-Star game. So, all bummers.
And they're still serving wings. They just will not be called.
They're still doing the hoodie, maybe. We'll see.
And other food items as well.
I will find a sweatshirt, or maybe buy one of the bootleg ones from outside.
There'll be a lot of those.
All righty. After the commercial break, we're wrapping up our show talking about Ronald Acuna Jr. We'll see you then. All right, final block of Sports Extra. Ronald Acuna Jr. is unbelievable. The World Baseball Classic has really showed his ability on the massive stage. The leadoff homer in the quarterfinals versus Japan. He's got 9 runs, 2 homers. He's been a superstar player, and everybody finally gets to see it.
Nobody does a leadoff home run better than Ronald Acuna, let me tell you what. This guy just gets it done. What a guy.
I had to root against him. One of the best players, either Ohtani or Ronald Acuna Jr., you could say the best players in baseball, and it's good we have him here in the A.
It's awesome because this tournament is exactly what Ronald's all about, having fun playing baseball. People try to complain about him doing it here in Atlanta, that you see it on the world stage like this. He has been incredible. Full disclosure, we're taping this before the end of the USA-Dominican Republic game, so hopefully they won, but you guys will have seen it during the 11 o'clock broadcast. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show, and thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week on Sports Extra.